Hey everybody, this is Jessica with the K, the MUA, coming at you today. So today we will be doing a rant series, and this is, I think, one of the hardest topics so far. I mean, I know I've only done two rant series, but this one I think is one that's going to hit home for a lot of people. And I think it's going to touch a lot of you because a lot of you really need to understand this. So, the topic we're going to be talking about today is letting your friends and relationships go in order for you to grow. Now, I know what everybody's thinking, why would, that's just, I'm not understanding what you're trying to say. Like, do I have to let go of all my friends, And you kind of do. I'm not being funny, but sometimes you have to let go of people so you can grow. And that's just the truth. I posted today on my Instagram this photo I thought was so funny. It was a caterpillar and a butterfly. And the caterpillar said, "You've changed." The butterfly said, "We're supposed to." And you were supposed to. You're not supposed to be stagnant. And if you are with friends that are stagnant, then you will never grow because you're steady trying to hang on to them while you're still trying to succeed. You know what I'm saying? And, it's sometimes friends that are good friends, you guys just need to depart. That's just what it is. And if you guys come back together, then you guys were always friends. But sometimes you just need to depart from your friends because sometimes they're toxic in ways you don't even know. You get what I'm saying? Because, me, I'm a go-getter. If I want to do something, I'm going to do it. And that's just how everybody is. If you going to do something, you going to do it. Period. If your friend keep on saying, "Oh, I want to go to college," or "Oh, I want to do this," or "Oh, I want to do that," do it. Like, there's no reason why they shouldn't do it. And we all have those type of friends that bullshit to the T. They do. They bullshit to the T. And, we sitting there trying to help them, and it's frustrating because it feels like you're a mom trying to help a child who just doesn't understand where you're coming from on the situation. And if you have friends that are not doing anything or not doing anything productive that could help their life, then eventually you're going to be in the same circle that they're going to be. Because I know everybody says, birds of a feather flock together, and that is so true. Because you will sit here and you will look up, people you thought were going to be successful aren't successful because they got held back by certain things. They couldn't let go of certain things. And sometimes you have to let go of friends in order to grow. You have different paths than your friends. Not all your friends are going to have the same vision as you. Not all your friends are going to have the same passion as you. And that's okay. But them bringing you down is not okay. You get what I'm saying? Like, you trying to help them up while they're still trying to lay there because they fell, and you're trying to help them and they won't get up. Sometimes you just got to let people fall and figure out how they're going to get back up on their own. That's just the truth. And friends will hold you back sometimes. And sometimes you can't even help it. Sometimes your friends, this happens in most cases where your friends, you're doing good. You might be in college. You might get a job that make 13, 14, 15, 20 an hour. For my age, that's good money. You might have found a man. You might have, something good happens in your life. And they kind of, they don't mean it, but it's like they start to turn toxic because they start to pick at certain things about your life because they don't really they don't really have nothing going on in their life, basically preying on your downfall. And honestly, when it gets that toxic, that's when you have to question, is this person really my friend or not? Because when you guys were at the same level, they weren't on this hate train. But it seems like everything you kind of do, basically, they have not even so much as a problem, but you can tell there's a little jealousy. I'm not being funny, but I'm telling the truth. Some friends are okay with some people are okay with staying stagnant in the situation that they are in. I'm not. And I'm not going to have somebody on my team that's okay with staying stagnant. Do you get what I'm saying? Because they're going to bring me down and I'm going to revert back to who I once was. And we don't want that to happen. We want to grow, because in order, you have to, grow. That's just it. You grow every day. That's just it. If you don't grow, then you'll see yourself, you're 40 years old wondering where all the time went. Well, hell, you was sitting there playing with your friends who weren't about nothing. And that's what you need. You need friends that are about something. You don't need friends that make excuses for why they can't do this, for why they can't do that, for why they don't want to be this. If you got a job, and you should always think higher of yourself. If you got a job that paid $11 an hour, you should have a goal of finding a job that paid $13 an hour by next year. You get what I'm saying? You always have to think level up. If you don't have people on your team that don't think like that, that's a sign that they need to go. You get what I'm saying? I had a friend, and I had to cut her off. And let me tell y'all, I get it. It's hard to cut your friends off because you feel like that's your ace boom coon. And that's your homie. And they got your back always. But sometimes they don't have your back like you think they do. I had to cut off one of my friends. I'm not going to get into detail. But I started to realize, she reminded me a lot of younger me. Like middle school me. Middle school me was very, an attention whore. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and just bash her. But she seeked attention. And whether it was good or bad attention, and she always wanted to be the center of attention. And whether or not, it was, like I said, whether or not, I'm sorry, I'm saying the whole thing over again, but I had to cut her off because she reminded me so much of young me, and I was kind of like, I don't want to think about young me because that girl was dumb. She wasn't evolving. Here I am, 20 years old, trying to evolve from that, and I have somebody on my team that reminds me of younger years, who's childish, who really ain't on the same grind as I do. And the last time we hung out, it just didn't feel the same. It didn't feel authentic. And, as I think about it, my friend, he defended her and he never held her accountable because, he always saw the good in people. But as I think about it, some people, it's going to take time for them to see that some people just aren't good for you. And he was sitting here telling me, why would you cut her off? Y'all been friends for such a long time. And the thing is, I'll take quality over quantity. You get what I'm saying? Just because someone has been your friends for 10 years don't mean they won't stab you in the back. They've been doing sneaky stuff all along, but it takes one incident to see that this is just not a person you want on your team. And that's just the truth. There's certain people you just don't want on your team. If you got a friend that's constantly bashing you, constantly telling you about your downfall, telling you about yourself, saying that they want to be your friend, saying that they are your friend, then that's not a bitch you want on your team. You want somebody who's thinking just like you and who's on the same level, who's not getting jealous when you were on a different level, who's not getting jealous when you are actually sitting up there doing something, going to school, finding a way to make it. You know what I'm saying? Or a friend that is a good friend, and this one is going to touch a lot of you. Most of us have a friend that is a good friend, but they're bullshitting. They're bullshitting. they haven't done a single thing since they got out of high school. If you do, child, let me tell you something. Either you hang on to that friend and try to help them, or you let them go. That's just all you can do. Because if they've been on the same shit since high school, yeah, you gotta let them go, period. If they ain't on, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to get this job, I want to make this much, and they don't have a plan, and they're all over the place, sometimes you can help those friends, but sometimes you gotta let them go in order for you to grow. Because what they're doing is, I'll take it as this: they're a crab pulling you back into the bucket at that point. And when you are a crab being, like, you're trying to get out the bucket and the crab is pulling you back, your friend is the crab, and you have to let them go. And as I see it, either God forces somebody out your life, or you have to force them. And when God forces them out your life, it's 10 times worse. So sometimes you have to make the hard choice of, do I want this person to still be around? Will this person benefit me? Because honestly, you have to think of friendships kind of selfish. Like, you have to be selfish when you think of friendships. I'm going to be honest with you. You have to think, what does this person supply to me? Because friendships, you have to have a couple group of friends that's like a village. They have to benefit you. They have to be beneficial to the village. If they're not beneficial to the village, they're burned at the stake. Get what I'm saying? In a village, one person hunts. One person does gardening, crops, whatever. Another person says wildfire stories, all that. If you just got that one villager in the village that does nothing, that always says they're gonna do it, that always says, I'll do it, I just can't do it right now, then what the fuck are you doing in my village? Get out. You know what I'm saying? Get out of my village. You need friends who genuinely want the best for you, who want to see you fly. Not friends who give you backhanded compliments. Not friends who sit here and talk crazy to you because their life is not going well, so they want to take it out on you because you seem like you got it all together, even though you don't. But you have a plan, and you find a lot of haters like that. You find a lot of haters when you doing good. You find a lot of friends that said they was your friend at first, and who supported you, who was sharing your page, who was with you. But as soon as you started getting where you're going, oh bitch, they gone, they done, they MIA. They say you switched on me because you didn't take them to the top. Because you're supposed to take yourself to the top, honestly. Your friends need their own top. So therefore, when you're on my top, then you can eat with me. Then you can rule with me. But if you have nothing to offer me friendship-wise, then I'm sorry, sweetheart. I can't bring you to the top if you're not at my top. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, y'all. I know it's a lot of crazy shit, but it's understandable, and you have to cut people off. Period. You have to. Sometimes you just have to. You could have a friend, you've been friends with her for years, and she has one toxic trait. But you never really noticed. You noticed the toxic trait, but you didn't think in your head nothing of it. I've had a friend who would act completely different in front of boys. That was her only thing. She would act completely different in front of boys and show out in front of boys and say inappropriate things in front of boys. And I didn't think nothing of it, and she would try to embarrass me in front of boys because I'm pretty. And girls, when they feel like you're when most women feel like you are competition, they want to take you out, because they realize the boys are staring at you and not them, like they want them to, and I ignored this trait for the longest. I ignored this trait for the longest because I thought in my head, that's just her. That's how she does it. But you can't accept somebody who does stuff like that, because that's not what a friend does. Period. Not what a good friend does. Period. Your friend and you should never be in competition together. So yeah, I had to cut that off. Period. I'm sorry, I've been saying period a lot, but yeah, you do. You have to cut that off. That one toxic trait that they have turns into a million traits that you never knew they had. They could turn on you in a quick second. The moment, because I didn't even think about the fact the moment she could possibly get a boyfriend, she was going to start acting funny and start getting buck with me. Like, you never think about those type of things. Just like I said with my friend, I didn't realize she had all these negative traits of attention seeking until I cut her off, and I was like, that's not somebody I want on my team. I don't want somebody that doesn't think what they do is wrong or plays victim. I don't do that. I don't think that's okay. I don't think it's cool, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes, even though the situation was not that big a deal, I think it was the right thing to do. That's just the truth. That was just the, if I can't trust my friend type situation, then I don't want her in my circle. And I think about all the time we were friends, and I kind of thought about it. I felt like, at one point she really wasn't trying to see me win. And my other friend, he never noticed it, and with that, he didn't know where I was coming from on it. So he didn't see why I had to cut her off. I had to cut her off for my goods, for my sake. Because what I used to realize when we were on FaceTime and I would show her something, or I would tell her some good news, she'd be like, oh yeah, like I did that too. Like, kind of a turn it around type situation. Because you know how you got good news, like, oh girl, I got a job, it paid $14 an hour. And your friend turned around and said, oh girl, I got a job and it paid $15 an hour. Oh, fucking okay. This is not about you, girl. I'm trying to tell you my business. You get what I'm saying? Because people you think are truly your friends are not truly your friends. And so when you still hang on to people you think really want the best for you, and you don't think would cause you no harm, you don't grow. When you hang on to friends who are good to you, but not good to themselves by trying to do better, you hurt yourself because you're trying to help them. And, I don't care. This is for everybody at this moment. I'm just going to start talking and if you hate this, and if you feel some type of way, I'm sorry, but this is just how it's going to go down. Y'all are really going to hurt. I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings right now. Figure it out. Period. That's it. That's all I got to say. Figure it out. If you really want to do something, you do it. Period. You do. You want to go to college, just go. It don't matter if you start when you 20. It don't matter if you start when you 16. Ooh, not 16, baby. You go to college when you 16. You was smart. It don't matter if you go and you start off being 18. Like, everybody there to get an education. Nobody cares that you are 20 years old and a freshman. Nobody cares. And if they care that much, then they need to, that's just them. I see 40, when I was at school, I saw 40-year-olds trying to get their education, trying to do what they had to do because they wanted a better life than what they had. So there's no excuse. So, anytime you have, and I know we all have that type of friend that sits here and tells you, I wanted to do it, but I just can't do it because right now I don't feel like it's the time. When is going to be the time? Get up. Do something. Don't bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Make a way. It's going to be hard. I get it. It gets hard. But anything worth doing is going to be hard. And I get everybody be trying to help their friends. And you want your friends to succeed and you want your friends to eat. But if your friend is choosing to starve, sometimes you just gotta let them starve and figure it out. Don't starve with them. Figure it out. Period. That's all I gotta say on that situation. You know? If you see your friend is actually trying, I will hang on to that friend because, you know, sometimes stuff just does happen. And, you know, life does get hard. But if they're trying and you don't see them sitting here just complaining about, you know, I want to do this, but I can't. I want to do this and I can't. You know, if you see them trying to do and accomplish what they want to accomplish, but you stick by that friend. But if that friend is not doing nothing, cut them off because you need to grow and you're hanging on to somebody who's trying to bring you down to their level. And that's never okay. That's never okay. Queens don't hang with peasants, period. You know, people who are big successes don't hang with people who ain't trying to do nothing with themselves, who would rather just swallow in their self-pity. Like, no one wants to be around that. And, you know, no one wants to take somebody to the top that's the hater, and nobody wants to take somebody to the top that ain't really about them. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happens with a lot of people. They take people to the top that was never meant to be with them at the top. They never could let them go. And sometimes you have to let them go to grow. If someone comes back in your life, that's just it. They come back in your life. But as of now, for the time, y'all have different paths. And sometimes you have to cut somebody off to grow. It's gonna hurt. Oh, believe me, it's gonna hurt because you're gonna think of all the good memories. You're gonna think of all, you know, you're gonna think of all the times that they, you know, loved you and cherished you and cared about you and vice versa. But sometimes that don't mean shit if you're not growing. If you feel like you still at, you know, level 1 and you feel like you should be a level 3 because you sat here and you waiting for your friend to get to the same place you at. Sometimes you have to let people go. And this is going to sound fucked up, but when I cut off my friend, I cried. I did. I cried. I did. I felt like, oh my God, I just lost a friend. But I got the best sleep of my life that night. And I'm pretty sure it's because God was like, okay, cut. You're good. And I got the best sleep because I realized you don't want nobody on your side that's, you know, making you weary. Period. That's it. So, y'all, if y'all have friends who ain't trying to really do nothing, who you think are plotting on your downfall, and who you think who don't have the best interest for you, my advice to you is to let them go. I'm not talking about relationships right now. That's going to be for my next one. But let them go. That's all you can do is let people go. Let them live and let them prosper. I get we all try to help each other, but sometimes you have to go by yourself on this because you will miss out on a lot of good opportunities trying to help somebody who don't want to be helped. Trying to help somebody who never had your best interest at heart in the first place. Trying to make something work that never did work. You get what I'm saying? Trying to make a friendship work. And let me tell y'all, losing a friend is worse than losing a man. I don't care what nobody says, it's worse. Because you felt that's supposed to be your road dog. So men come and go, but if you lose your homie, that's just it. You lose your friend and feel like you just lost. It hurts. It hurts so bad, your chest hurt. But it's for the best. And sometimes you have to cut people off because it's for the best. It's for your mental health. It's for your growth. It's for you. And, you have to get with people who are serious and ain't bullshitting, because let me tell you, to have friends on your team, nothing is fun when you have friends on your team they ain't really trying to be on the same shit you trying to be on. It hurts. It's hard to watch. And in a sense, you feel like they got their stuff together. No, I got myself together, or I'm trying to. Why aren't they? And some people, it takes time. Some people are different than others. But sometimes you just have to, leave them. And if they come back, they come back. They might come back bigger and better, or they might come back angry, or annoyed, or not doing nothing. And that's okay, because you're growing, and that's what matters. So bring people to your village that have value, who have value. Not people to your village you just trying to chill with, who just hang, who just in the village because it's cool. Like, no. Find people in, your village who got good skills, who know how to do what they do and can benefit you. And that's all I'm going to leave it on. I hope you guys enjoyed this rant. It went on for longer than what I thought, but I have had so much on my mind about this topic for the longest. My next topic, I don't know if I want to do it. Because that one, I feel like he does not deserve any type of airtime. The topic was going to be what my ex taught me and how you can benefit from moving on. And how I'm just going to tell you my process of how I moved on. If I do it, it's to help somebody. It's, if I don't, then I just don't do the video. But, because I feel like he's just been talked about to death. And I don't feel like dabbling in it anymore. But, I'll talk about it one more time for you guys. I'm not sure. Let me know what you think. Comment below, leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and you guys have a great night.